Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Coach D. Man, welcome to Real Talk Tuesday. This is episode 13. And man, I hope you really stay to the end for this one because we about to go in. Listen to me. I know it may be old news, but I got to show you a clip, man, that we've seen already. This is from last NFL football season. But to me, it was like the play of the year, right? It's the play of the year. And I want you to check it out, but we're going to begin to chop it up, man. The biggest thing is this right here. Some of you young kings, what I'm finding is that you have goals. You got things you want to do. You got stuff you want to accomplish, dreams you want to see become a reality. But some of y'all, man, you're missing one thing. One thing you're missing. When it comes down to correction, when it comes down to you getting advice, when it comes down to you being coached up, some of y'all, man, you can miss me with all that. And I'm saying there's one thing I want you to really lock in on. And that right there is the discipline of studying film. Yep, I said it, man. The discipline of studying film. I need for you to tap into that piece right there, because once you begin to study film, any greats would tell you that they didn't become great off of raw talent. They didn't become great just because of certain opportunities that were given to them. They became great because they mastered the fundamentals. They studied and they looked for opportunities to actually master the fundamentals. And so that comes by way of actually studying film. And so again, welcome to Real Talk Tuesday, where there is no fluff, man. We're going to keep it all the way 100 for you, young king. Why? Because we really do want to see you win, not just on the field, not just on the court, not just in whatever sport you may be doing. We want to see you do well as a man, as a leader, in the classroom, outside of the classroom, in your homes, in the marketplace, man. We want to see you do well for real, for real. So once again, my name is Coach D. I am your favorite leadership development coach, man. U.S. Marine. Listen, man, I served a couple of years overseas. I actually did 5 years in the Marine Corps. For those that don't know the story, 5 years in the Marine Corps. 03 went to Kuwait. Iraq went to Iraq in 04, and eventually it was either Marine Corps, it was marriage, and of course, no brainer. Y'all know how much I care about my wife, man, and my kids. So that was an easy one. I won't say easy, but for me, at the end of the day, I was able to sleep well. Let me put it that way. After making that decision of staying with my wife and my kids over the Marine Corps, but nonetheless, let's get right into this thing. I do want to say this before I show you the video clip. Man, the sponsor of the week. I really want to give a shout out to the Wacoan. For those that are in Waco, Texas, you know who the Wacoan is. It's a local magazine. This is the actual edition for August, the August edition. If you actually open it up in here, man, you're going to see a familiar face, man, a familiar face. I just want to show this to you before we get into the video. To me, I thought it was pretty dope, you know, that they were willing to feature your very own, you know what I mean, Coach D in the building, right, with some of my students right there. You got some of my students. It's a whole article in there, man, that really breaks down some of the work that we do. But no, shout out to you, Wacoan, for believing in what we do, so much so that you were willing to feature us in this month's episode, helping the community to know more about what we do, really supporting us in terms of that. And thank you again for also believing in what we're doing in terms of hope for the underdogs. How, for those that don't know, that's simply our initiative to go into these juvenile detention centers, to these youth correctional facilities, and without going too deep into it, we noticed that there was a gap. There was a low reading level, under fourth grade level, for 70 to 80% of them that are locked up, and there was a high return rate, recidivism rate. So they get out 3 years later, half of them going right back in. And so we wanted to increase the reading levels through the books that we've actually written. You know, you can see the book behind me, Today I Win. Today We Win, with the student authors you saw in the magazine, and all these other books that we drop off. But we want to give them stories that they can connect with, so that in the end, their love for reading increases the love for learning, that changes their mindset, change their belief system. When they get out, they're less likely to go back in. So again, shout out to Wacoan. Thank you guys for your support. So now, without further ado, man, let me get right into this. Again, this is like had to be like the play of the year, man. It had to be the play of the year. And for those that follow NFL, I think you already know where I'm going, but I'm still gonna pull it up anyway. All right, so check this out. Check it out, man. And being a running back, man, that's my position, man. Matter of fact, all of my kids that played football, all of them actually played running back position at one point, right? But now check this out.
Has time. Now locates Barkley out of the backfield. Barkley slips 2 tackles and picks up the first down, tipping up in the air to the 30. A gain of 14 for Barkley with some nifty moves along the way.
Was that not the best 14-yard gain?
Listen, y'all seen this already. I'm not showing you nothing you ain't seen before, but I'm about to bring something out that you probably haven't thought about, right? So again, I want to show this to you, but from a slightly different camera angle, all right? I got another one for you. Hold on, here we go. Let me get back in there. Let me get back in there. Man, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. When I look at it, every single time I look at this thing, I'm like, dang, he did that like in an actual game. He did this, right? All right, check it out. Here we go. Slightly different angle. And hurdle. Man, that's just a work of art, man. A work of art. And I remember my son telling me about this, when it first happened. He came, he's like, Daddy, did you see what Saquon did? I said, what, man? He said, man, you gotta see the move, man. Like everybody talking about it. I was like, all right, let me check it out. And I remember checking it out, man. And when I saw it, it's like, dang, that's crazy. But you know what's crazier to me? I want to use this as an analogy for a moment. Some of us, we're really focused on, like I say, the dreams, the goals, the aspirations. And like, man, I want to go play D1 ball. Man, I want to get a scholarship. Man, I want to get my family about this thing. I want to make it to the league and all this kind of stuff. And we chasing NIL, we chasing league dreams and all this. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's beautiful, man. Keep focusing on that, right? But what happens is sometimes when we're going so hard on a goal, we're going so hard on our dreams, there's some things that we can find ourselves avoiding. And some of us, we just keep it all the way, 100, man. Some of us, we actually running from some stuff, right? I'm thinking that if I get to this goal, if I get to this dream of making it to the league, that the stuff that I'm running from would have magically disappeared. But I want you to notice how when Saquon had made his first move, he sidestepped one dude, right? One would-be tackler. He sidestepped. And then he got to the next tackler. And what did he do? My man hit a spin move. And once he got to the third would-be tackler, he turned backwards and he hurdled the dude in reverse. Why is that so important? Because sometimes when you're going after what you're going after, you do have to face your past, man. And that's what I love about what Saquon did. And that's what he wasn't thinking like that. He just trying to make a move on this defender, right? But he turned around and he ended up facing what was behind him. And some of you young kings, you won't face what's behind you. And because you're not facing what's behind you, you find yourself now not just you chasing, right, whatever aspirations you have, but you find yourself being chased, being haunted by things that you still got to handle up on. You still got some issues back at the house with whoever it may be, daddy, mama, siblings, whoever that is, your ex, you got your baby mama, like you got some issues that you ain't dealt with. You got some hurt that you had sustained early on, and then you find yourself still running. I don't know if y'all ever seen that movie, man, Antoine Fisher. One of my favorite movies, man, Antoine Fisher. When you get a chance, go, man, just watch it. Just sit down, man, over the weekend when you got some time. Labor Day is coming up, man, so maybe you can chill on Labor Day. But, man, just watch that movie, man, Antoine Fisher. And you're going to see what Antoine was going through. Antoine was one of them dudes that had a lot of hurt, but he was still trying to go into the Navy, and he was trying to still do his thing, you know, as a career man, as a military man, young man. But there are some things that he had to face. And I just want you to see it. I don't even want to give it away, man, but just know that he ended up in the system, right? And he was at risk. Like his whole thing was the stuff he had went through, he wasn't supposed to make it out. So I'm gonna leave it right there. I want you to check it out. My boy Denzel Washington, man, of course, he's in that movie. So definitely, if you're a Denzel fan, you're gonna want to watch it because of him. But now, Antoine Fisher, check it out, man. Check it out. But some of us, what I'm seeing, Young King, is that we won't do that about face. We won't turn around and face the very thing that's been haunting us, the thing that's been chasing us. And I've seen it, man. I've seen it with my own eyes. And truth of the matter, I've even experienced it. I found myself, I told you at one point in time, my pops, man, he ended up being killed on 14 years old. Me being a mama's boy, I'm like, man, bet. I'm not like bet, like I'm glad he did. It's not, trust me, ain't nothing like that. Like I really was missing my pops. But I'm saying, all right, well, this is a great opportunity for me to go live with my mom now, because up until that point, I would spend 2 weeks with my dad's and then 2 weeks at my mom's, me and my brother. You know, we would spend 2 weeks at our dad's and then we'd go 2 weeks to my mom's. That was the rotation. And I'm like, okay, well, at this point, the good thing in this situation is at least I get to go live with my mama full time. And I'm a mama's boy, so that really meant something to me. So I'm like, bet, let me go spend time with my mama. Well, little did I know, while my daddy had just lost his life and we were making funeral arrangements and we had the funeral and all that kind of stuff, my daddy, he passed away, but my mama, she had gotten really, really sick, man, because she had contracted tuberculosis and all this kind of stuff, because she's out there doing her drug thing. She ain't on that no more, right? She's been clean for decades at this point, you know. Well, is it? Yeah, at least about 15 years she's been clean. But the point is, back then my mama, she was on her drug thing, y'all. And so I remember going into the hospital one time, and my mama, man, she looking like really like deathly, right? And the doctors, before we had went in, they gave us a brief, like a little debrief. They said, hey, in so many words, like, hey, go ahead and kiss your mama goodbye. Like, really enjoy the time you have with her, because we don't expect her to live much longer. In that situation, what I found out is that my mama had actually signed over her parental rights, you know, to my dad's parents, my paternal grandparents. And once I found out that she had signed over, because I didn't understand in that moment why she did it, I had resentment towards my mama. Like, I ain't lying, y'all. Like, I'm a mama's boy. So in the way I was thinking, I was like, mama, here you go again. Like, you had an opportunity. First, you chose drugs over your sons, and now you don't even want us to live with you. Like, I was on that. So I was like pissed off at my mama, man. And it took me years, y'all. It took me years, Young King, for me to get to that place where I actually forgave the woman who was the most important woman in my life at that time. You know what I mean? Like, it took me years, man. And just not to go too deep into that story, just understand at this point, I'm married. I'm already out the Marine Corps. So I spent 5 years in Marine Corps active duty. And then we have 5 kids at this point, right? By the time I actually forgave my mama. Listen, long time, y'all. And so anyhow, what I had to do, just like Saquon, I had to get to that place where I had did about face. You know, I was facing the very thing that was haunting me, the very thing that was chasing me. As a mama's boy, I knew that, man, listen, I can't keep going like this. And I ain't gonna kid you, man. Like, the thing that really woke me up was I had a dream about my mama. And that's how God be speaking to me. Like he be showing me dreams a lot of the times. And so I had a dream about my mama. And with her, I remember seeing that she had passed away in my dream. She was in this dark alley, and she ended up passing away. I woke up, man, my heart is like beating out my chest. I'm like, man, let me call mama real quick. And when I called, I said, "Hey, mama, you all right?" I ain't talked to her in a minute at this point, at least about several months, if not a year or so. And she said, "Yeah, I'm okay, DJ. You all right, baby?" I said, "Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to check on you." Right? I didn't tell her about the dream, but for me, I was so afraid that I would lose my mama. And even worse, I'm like, man, how would I feel if I lost my mama in that moment or in that season of my life? I had lost her and never got things back right with her, right? Like I would be sitting with that guilt for the rest of my life. And so that day forward, I was open to forgive my mama. I was open to make amends, with her so that I don't have to have that thing haunting me for the rest of my life. Some of y'all, listen, young king, some of y'all are in a place right now where you got stuff you got to handle up on. You blowing up ain't just you blowing up because somebody done said something or somebody done got on your nerves. It's deeper than that. And what I notice is many of us, when we're being haunted by something, when there's some things that we got to deal with, instead of dealing with the root cause, we'll start trying to treat the symptoms. Like I remember growing up, man, I would watch, one of my favorite shows to watch was Family Matters. And it had Steve Urkel in it, Laura and the Winslows and all this. And I remember when Carl Winslow, he used to have anger issues. And on this one episode, he was going to therapy and stuff, and they were trying to give him different strategies on how to like calm down, like to manage his anger. And they gave him one strategy, hey, just count to 3 or count. What they say count 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. Like do that. What the heck is bothering me? They say if you just count down and then count back up to 3, like they'll give you time to be able to rethink your emotions, to regulate your emotions. And so he did that, man. But all he was doing was treating the symptoms. My man never treated the very cause of the anger. And I'm saying the same thing for you. You can do 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. What the heck is bothering me? All you want. But young king, until you deal with the symptoms, I mean, not the symptoms, but you deal with the root cause and not the symptoms, listen, that thing gonna continue to haunt you. So what I found out is that part of my anger came from me not just losing my pops, like, because I was a little mad at my pops too. I'm like, Daddy, how you do us like this? In the most important time of my life as a young man, my young teen years, when I needed you not there. I'm pissed, y'all. And I started thinking about my mama. And I'm like, even for my mama, I'm like, Mama, in the moment where I needed you, I'm like, here you are, you're signing over your parental rights to my grandparents. My grandparents didn't bring me in this world, Mama. You gave birth to me. It's your job, not their job, to raise me. I was feeling a certain kind of way. And I couldn't quite understand where this anger was coming from until I had did an about face. And when I did an about face, I started to dig a little bit. Okay, was it really because old boy called me on my name? Nah. Was it really because that girl gave me an attitude? No, that ain't really it. Then why am I blowing up like I'm blowing up? Some people had, like in my family, they would call it the Thomas temper, right? They'll call it Thomas temper. And I'm like, is it really a Thomas temper? Like I know, I see my daddy got anger issues. I see me and my brother got anger issues, but where does it really come from? I see my grandparents got them. You know what I'm saying? My uncles, my aunties, I see they got this temper, this Thomas temper, as they call it. But where is that really coming from? And for me, I realized, man, it's just a lot of hurt, some unhealed wounds. That's where that anger was coming from. So I'm challenging you, young king, right now, man. I know you got aspirations. I know you want to do some big things. But if you don't deal with those issues that are haunting you right now, you may go ahead and make it to the league. You may go ahead and ink that NIL deal that you've been looking for. You may go ahead and get that D1 scholarship that you always dreamt of. But you're going to realize one day that thing that's been chasing you is going to finally catch up with you. And when it does, it's going to cause you to start to crumble. All that you have worked hard for, that thing is going to be the very thing that brings you down. I'm telling you, man, look at my man AB, Antonio Brown. Man, look at what's the young man that had just passed away from LSU that was a rising star? Lacey. There are some things that caught up with him, man. There's some things that caught up with him. Y'all, listen, I'm telling you, don't play with this. I done seen it with my dad, man. I done seen it with my brother. I done seen it with other people, man, where they end up living these short-lived lives simply because they didn't deal with the bad habits. They didn't deal with the things that were chasing them. And there's this one quote that I used to, man, teach my students. I said, if you don't conquer your bad habits are going to conquer you. I want you to really listen to that. If you don't conquer your bad habits are going to conquer you. And so with all that being said, I want you to really understand that here we need to slow down and begin to study film. We need to slow down and begin to study film. Listen to me, study film. I remember looking at my son, his scrimmage. And as I'm watching him, do his thing in scrimmage, I'm like, man, like that was dope, son. Like you're really getting at it. And then he started to watch some film and he realized, yeah, Daddy, I had some really good plays, but here, man, I was missing some of my blocks, man. I got some of my blocks, but I was missing some of them. And I can get better right here. When I'm running that rock, I realized that, man, my vision wasn't where it needed to be. And that I can get better in paying more attention to the field, right? Knowing when to break, when to jump cut, when to whatever. That came from him studying film. So when you begin to study film for yourself, I'm talking about personally now. I ain't talking about on the football field or the basketball court or whatever sport you're doing. I'm saying when you begin to study film about your personal life, you're going to begin to pay attention to those little things where, okay, I can make an adjustment right here. Instead of me blowing up, let me just take a deep breath. And while I'm taking that deep breath, what can I do differently to get a better results? What can I do? That's what slowing down is going to help you to do. But you won't catch that unless you study in film. Okay, man, when I get into a relationship with an old girl, man, listen, I done did some cheating of my own, right? I done been cheated on, right? That may be your experience. But when I get in this relationship with her, I'm gonna make sure, one, because I have a tendency of trying to speed up the process with girls, and I'm trying to like go all the way from 0 to 100, real quick. Instead of me going from 0 to 100 in my relationships, I'm gonna slow down, man. I want her to see the real me. I want to see the real her before I make like these deep commitments. You feel what I'm saying? Like when I get into this relationship with an old girl, I'm gonna make sure that I slow down and I respect whatever boundaries she may have set. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, study the film, y'all. Whatever area you looking at, it can be relationships, it can be personal, it can be sports, it can be class, it can be work, right? It can be just your spiritual well-being, your financial well-being. Study the film. There's some areas that we can always get better in, but you won't know to get better in those areas if you're not studying the film. All right, let me get off of that. So I want to show this to you. Let me see here. I just feel like I want to get right into the King's toolbox, to be honest with you. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do it that way. I'm gonna get right to the King's toolbox because I want you to catch this. So let's talk just a moment about how can we get better with studying film. I want to talk to you. I'm gonna give you three. I'm gonna give you three, and I want you to if you haven't taken out a pen right now or something to write with, like grab something real quick. I want you to listen to this. The first thing I want you to think about is just being honest. Again, you hear the name of the show, Real Talk Tuesday. I want you to have real talk with yourself. All right. So I want you to practice being honest. And as you're doing that, as you replay some of the things that you're dealing with, think about whatever issues you feel like you're going through right now. Maybe it is anger. Maybe I don't know how to, I'm not opening up to people that really care about me. Maybe I got trust issues. Maybe I don't know how to set boundaries. Like I just be doing any and everything, even though I'm like, man, I ain't really what I want to do. I'm not really good at voicing my boundaries, or expressing my boundaries to the people that be influencing me to do stuff. Like, I don't know, but you do. Maybe I got issues with managing my responsibilities, man. Like I know I'm supposed to do that, but bruh, like, I don't know if I'm just being lazy, if I don't care. I don't really have motivation. I'm not really confident. I'm giving you just different examples of what it could be. You know what some of the top issues are that you got to deal with. And so I'm saying, for real, be honest with yourself and be willing to admit, I need to get better in this area right here. And now once you're honest about that, now I need you to begin to replay some of those episodes, if you will, some of those experiences. Like go back to the memory bank and be like, all right, man, hold on. When was one time this happened? I mean, I remember blowing up, man, at practice one time. And what happened? Man, coach ended up benching me, for the first half of the following game. Okay. How you feel about that, man? I hated it, bro, because I'm supposed to be a leader on the team, and here I am sitting on the bench because I can't control my temper. All right, got it. Boom. You being honest about that. Could you have done something different? Yeah, man, I could have done something different. Cool. Again, you're being honest, young king, and that's where it starts. But now I need for you to say, all right, that was one recent incident, but how far back can we go and pinpoint when did this first start to show up? When did this type of reaction begin to first show up? When did I first start losing my temper? When did I first start going, like, just being just stupid? All right. And once you pinpoint that, now I want you to identify how did that get started? Where do I think that came from? You may not get the answer right off the rip, man. You may not. It may take you several times to go through that exercise, but I'm saying to keep going through it until you get to the root cause. Because it may very well be, it's like I told you, my mom, when she signed over her parental rights, I had to get to a place in my heart where I was willing to forgive her. And not just forgive my mom, but then I had to also forgive myself for holding on to that resentment for all these years. And all those times that I held on to the resentment, I was like, man, I ain't gonna really call my mama. I don't really care that much. I had to forgive my mama and me. And you may have to get to that place once you start digging and you get to the root cause where you're like, you know what? Let me forgive, man, for real. That's what I got to do. I got to forgive. Maybe. All right. So that's one. I want you to, when you're looking at the film, when you're playing back these experiences, I want you to be honest. All right. Be honest. That's one. Because I'm gonna tell you like this, man. Growth, it comes from correction. It doesn't come from comfort. And so many of us, we rather things be comfortable. Even though it may be wrong, we rather be comfortable and wrong instead of feeling uncomfortable and getting things right. But you need to get uncomfortable. All right. The second thing I want you to think about is this: to study that film with purpose. Like, I'm not just studying so I can pinpoint, okay, who did me wrong. No, I'm studying this because I know where I'm trying to go. And my purpose, I know if once I get there, according to Coach D and other people I know, I can get there. And if this thing is still chasing me, haunting me, eventually it's going to cause me to lose everything that I've been working so hard for. So my purpose in studying this film is that I can preserve my success. I can sustain this greatness that I want to obtain, right? I can sustain that without being haunted by something from my past. So I want you to study it, but don't just study it with purpose. Like I'm doing this on purpose, man. Like, this is intentional work right here for me to dig and figure out where this hurt came from, to figure out where this pain came from, to figure out what source these trust issues have come from. All right, bet. The third thing I want you to think about, third and final thing is, I want you, whatever you get from the situation, whatever lesson you're picking up, whatever opportunity that you can seize from studying the film. All right, I can forgive. Okay, I can actually open up to people that really care about me, because I got enough sense to know, all right, now this person in my life, they really do care. Like, they ain't just here for whatever they can get from me. I'm gonna open up to them. I need you to do that though. I don't need you just to identify what area you can get better in. I need you now to get better in that area. So to apply whatever it is that comes up, apply that, and don't wait. Like, have a sense of urgency, young king. Apply it immediately. Why do I say immediately? Because you don't know if tomorrow comes, man. And just like I told you, I didn't know if my mama was gonna pass away or when she was gonna pass away. I just know I had a dream about it. And for me, I knew that if she had passed away soon and I didn't get that right with her, man, I was gonna live with that guilt and that shame for the rest of my ever-loving life. And I'm like, bro, I can't do that, man. That won't sit right with me. Me calling myself a mama's boy, and I had beef with my mama like that. So you don't know if tomorrow's gonna come or not. So don't wait until tomorrow. Don't wait until that perfect time to make something happen. If it's on your chest to do it, and do it with the sense of urgency. You feel me? You know how some of y'all be doing, man. Like, you break the huddle and you start walking, to your position. Like, nah. You break the huddle, you haven't been getting in your position, man. You get to the line, you hustle, right? When it's time to actually go full speed in practice, listen, you ain't gonna half step, you going full speed. Because the problem with half stepping is, let you be one of them running backs and you half stepping, trying to hit that hole. They're gonna be carrying you off on a stretcher because you half stepping. It's the same thing with this right here. Don't be half stepping when it's time to apply the very lesson that you picked up. Hit the hole. Go hard with it, with the sense of urgency. All right. So those are three things I want you to focus on from the King's Toolbox, man. When you start to study film, be honest. Be honest with the fact that, okay, I do have issues I got to deal with. And then be honest with where those issues are stemming from. The second thing is, make sure you're studying that film with purpose. Like, nah, this intentional work right here. Hey, homie, I know you want to go to that party, man, but I'll be honest with you right now. I know something that I'll be saying to my kids and my wife, man, is that, hey, get your life right. Right now, I'm trying to get my life right. You know what I'm saying? I'll be joking, but still, like, the message you're sending to your homeboys and trying to party is that, nah, man, like, this means so much to me right now. I'm trying to get my life right. This is bigger than the moment. I'm talking about legacy. I'm talking about my future. I'm talking about my kids' future, my kids' future, right? This is about that. All right. And then the third thing, like I mentioned, make sure that you apply whatever you get, apply that immediately with the sense of urgency. Hit that hole, man. Hit it hard. All right. Bet. So, hey, if you haven't done so, man, I will say this, man, for those that be tapping in with me, don't just tap in on Tuesdays, man. I love it when y'all show up for real. Like, it's cool. I'm doing it for you. But don't just tap in with me. I want you to like this video. I want you to share it, man, with one of those brothers that you know needs to hear this. But then the very last thing I need for you to do is make sure you subscribe to this channel. Yeah, man, subscribe to this channel, right? Because I'm going to keep dropping more and more content, but it's for you. Like, I really do want to see you win, young king. I really do want to see you make it to wherever you're trying to get to. And once you get there, I don't want to see you crumble, right? I don't want to see all that crumble. I want to see you make this huge flop, if you will. I don't want that, man. I've seen too many people that reach this height of success only to come down and be embarrassed, you know what I'm saying, with the flop. I don't want that for you. So with all that being said, make sure you tap in, subscribe, like, share for sure. The very last thing I'm going to hit you with is our affirmation for the day, and we getting up out of here, man. All right, so I want you to repeat after me, and let me go right to it. I want you to repeat after me. All right, so film shows my flaws. Say it with me. Film shows my flaws, but it sharpens my game. I face my mistakes, not hide in my shame. Each rep is a lesson. Each play helps me grow. I study my past, so my greatness will show. I'm telling you, man, you really are great, young king. You are. And what I learned along the years is that a lot of times you can tell that, man, you're destined to be great, but all the craziness that you have to go through, all the hardship, the adversity, the setbacks that you face, the more and more you have to face, the more you got to know that, man, I really am supposed to be great, because I'm going through a whole lot right now. Yeah, you are, because you are meant to be great. I told you, man, you are a winner. Listen to me, you are a winner, but winning is a choice. So whatever you do, do not quit. This Coach D, appreciate you tapping into Real Talk Tuesday. I'm out.